Ares, the original Greek god of war god Kratos has killed before God of War Ragnarok. Ares was the original Olympian god of war, and the son of Zeus and Hera and the main antagonist of God of War, as well as the perpetrator behind the events of God of War, Ascension, meaning he was also responsible for setting the events of the series into motion by tricking Kratos into killing his family and turning him into the Ghost of Sparta, which eventually fulfilling the prophecy of the marked warrior who would destroy Olympus and end the reign of the gods. Ares was the oldest child of Zeus and was commonly referred to as the most hated god on Mount Olympus, even before being killed by Kratos. Greek mythology. Ares was the god of war, son of Zeus and Hera, and one of the most prominent and powerful gods of Olympus. He was born after the great war of the gods and titans and served his father faithfully for many years. He was also a rival of Athena, his younger sister, because they were both gods, one of war, the other of wisdom, and wished that the other would stand down. His Roman counterpart was Mars. Mars was held in much higher esteem, second only to Kronos, Ionic form of the Doric era, bane, ruin. In God of War series. Alliance with the Furies. Ares came to covet all of Olympus, especially Zeus's throne, so he struck an alliance with the Furies, and persuaded them to take a more ruthless approach. After learning of the prophecy of the marked warrior, who was destined to destroy Olympus and kill Zeus, Ares conceived a child with Alecto in the hope that their child would be the marked one so that he could aid him in overthrowing Zeus and claiming his throne. Unfortunately, Orcos, Ares' child, was not up to his standards and was disowned. The Furies, however, saw potential in Orcos and made him their oath-keeper. Encountering Kratos. Two gods of Olympus, Ares and Athena, raided the city of Sparta in order to capture a child named Deimos, who had been suspected of being the mortal who would destroy Olympus in the marked warrior prophecy. After Ares captured the boy, Deimos' brother, Kratos, charged toward Ares to save his younger brother. Despite his efforts, however, Ares hit Kratos on the face and created a bloody scar on his right eye. Ares was about to kill Kratos, but Athena persuaded Ares to leave him be. Ares then left with Deimos, and Athena quickly apologized to Kratos. Ares then took Deimos to the domain of death, where he would be tortured for many years by Thanatos, the god of death. Little did Ares know that the boy to whom he gave a scar would be the same boy who would initially serve him and later leave him in adulthood after his family would be slaughtered by his own hands due to his machinations. Wager of the Gods. Years later, the gods created a contest and chose various mortals as their champions for the capture of the ambrosia. In the Wager of the Gods, Ares was seen in the comics choosing Kratos as his champion and was confident that nothing would stop him in his quest for the ambrosia. After a grueling journey, Kratos captured the ambrosia and thus made Ares the victor of the Wager of the Gods. Kratos' servitude. Kratos and his Spartan army were no match for the merciless barbarians tribes of the east. Being outnumbered and overpowered, Kratos' army was losing the battle. Kratos, about to be killed by Alric, the barbarian king, pledged himself to Ares, the god of war, in exchange for victory. After he saw Kratos as the potential warrior that he needed to overthrow Olympus, Ares accepted, violently wiped out the barbarians, and gave Kratos the Blades of Chaos as a sign of his servitude. To ensure that the Spartan became the perfect warrior and was bound to his will, Ares and the Furies devised 3 blood tests for Kratos. The first had already been completed, spilling the blood of enemies. The second, spilling the blood of innocents, was easy to accomplish with Kratos' rising bloodlust as he ended countless lives with his Spartan companions, and conquered most of Greece. The last rite was spilling the blood of loved ones. Ares led Kratos to attack a village built in honor and worship of Athena. The Spartan soldiers ruthlessly killed all who lived in the village and burned their homes to the ground in the process. Upon reaching a strange temple, Kratos was warned by the village oracle not to venture within its walls. Ignoring the old woman, Kratos, blinded by bloodthirst, killed all who were within the walls of the temple, including his wife, Lysandra, and his daughter, Calliope. Ares appeared before the blood-stained hands of Kratos and told him that it was necessary to have his family eliminated so that nothing stood in his way. The ashes of Kratos' loved ones were gathered by the village oracle, who then placed them upon his skin as a permanent reminder of the monster he had become, the Ghost of Sparta. Enraged by Ares' deception, Kratos declared vengeance upon the god of war who once saved his life. After Kratos left Ares' service, the god of war's son, Orcos, learned of the injustice that his parents had inflicted on Kratos and turned against his father and his mothers. Orcos sought counsel from the oracle Aletheia, who revealed Ares' plot to overthrow Olympus. When Orcos and Aletheia went to warn Zeus, Ares discovered their attempt and sent the Furies after them. Orcos escaped while Aletheia had her eyes torn out and hidden in the ruined statue of Apollo. The Furies then ruthlessly hunted Kratos to force him to return to Ares' service for their plan to reach its fruition. During Kratos' triumph over the Furies, it was revealed that Ares had wanted Kratos returned to him. The plan was ruined when Kratos killed the Furies and mercifully killed Orcos, who was remade the Oath-keeper to Kratos, and thereby severed his bond. Kratos managed to escape and served Olympus for 10 years, all while hoping to redeem himself as well as for his sins to be forgiven. Battle with Kratos. Jealousy came over Ares for Athena, and, as a result of that jealousy, Ares laid siege to Athens. Since Zeus had forbidden the gods from waging war with one another, Athena could not step in to protect her city. Instead, Athena enlisted the help of Kratos, who had faithfully served the gods for 10 years. Kratos was instructed to find Pandora's box in order to kill Ares. While Ares relentlessly tore Athens apart, he suddenly sensed that Kratos had retrieved the box. Although he was impressed, Ares picked up a broken pillar and hurled it into the desert, which flew into Pandora's temple and struck Kratos in the chest, impaling him to a wall and killing him. Ares' harpies retrieved the box and brought it to him. However, Kratos escaped the underworld through the help of the mysterious gravedigger. Ares challenged Zeus and threatened to open the box and use it against Olympus. It seemed all was lost until Ares looked behind him and saw a returning Kratos standing behind him. He then mocked Zeus by his saying that he sent a broken mortal to defeat the god of war. Kratos, using his power granted by Zeus, took the box from Ares' hands and opened it. The god's power was unleashed, and Kratos felt its magic pour into him, which caused him to grow into a giant, though Ares was still noticeably bigger than him. Kratos' strength matched Ares, and the ultimate battle for power began. Ares claimed that Kratos was still just a mortal, and was every bit as weak as the day that he begged him to save his life. Kratos recalled that he was not the same man that Ares had found that day. The monster Ares created had returned to kill him. Ares boasted that Kratos had no idea of what a true monster really was. Ares then unleashed large spider-like spikes from his back and was ready to finally kill Kratos for good. Kratos gained the upper hand during the fight, but Ares trapped him in an illusion where his family was attacked by an army of clones of himself, representing his mistake of killing his wife and child, and stated that there were more effective ways of killing someone than just physical harm. Though Kratos had managed to kill all of the clones, Ares mocked him, ripped the blades of chaos from his arms, and killed the image of his family with them. The two of them returned to the real world, where Kratos was emotionally beaten, and Ares boasted that Kratos should have been stronger and prepared to kill him with his sword. Death of Ares. Kratos, however, spotted the blade of the gods, which had sent by Athena, dodged Ares' attack, took up the sword, and defeated him in battle with it. Ares pleaded for his life while reminding Kratos of the day that he had saved his life, and how he had only tried to make him a great warrior. Kratos ironically recanted that Ares had succeeded in doing that before he impaled him through the chest and killed him. The god of war fell into the Aegean Sea, and was no more, dead at the hands of the mortal that he controlled many years ago. Before his last breath, Ares released a loud death cry, which caused blood to burst from his chest, and a powerful explosion was released. However, Kratos, having killed Ares, the one who made him kill his family, asked Athena to remove the nightmares of his past. Athena replied that even though he had been forgiven of his sins, the gods, nor any mortal, could ever remove his memories of killing his family. Kratos realized that his nightmarish visions of his past sins would never leave him and thus tried to kill himself over suicide bluffs. Athena saved Kratos and said that the gods could not allow him, who had done such good deeds for them, to die by his own hand. Athena then said that Ares' tactics and methods were brutal, and while the Olympians mourned for their brother, Ares' path of destruction had to be stopped. However, with Ares' death, there was an empty place on Olympus for a new god of war, Kratos. Kratos then ascended to Olympus and was given the crown, throne, and title as the new god of war, which meant that the peace of Ares' death was broken, and whenever there were wars, for good or evil, they would be sought by and given permission to by Kratos, the new, all-powerful, and immortal god of war. After Kratos' success in defeating and killing Ares and becoming the new god of war, the Spartan citizens disowned Ares and hailed Kratos willingly, save for a few staunch supporters of Ares, and even removed all effigies of Ares and replaced them with those of Kratos. However, a few faithful disciples of Ares attempted to revive their fallen god of war with the power of the ambrosia, a power that could resurrect even a god, but Kratos had destroyed Gyges, the island in which the ambrosia rested on, in order to prevent the followers of Ares' plans from coming to fruition. After Ares' death. After Kratos was betrayed by Zeus and stripped of his godly powers, Kratos was rescued by Gaia, the Titaness of Earth, who told him that the Sisters of Fate had the power to help him go back in time, avert his betrayal, and face Zeus. On the island of creation, Kratos came upon a room known as the Garden of the Gods, in which there was a statue of Ares where he was referred to as the fallen god of war. Kratos, after he faced many challenges to get to the sisters, finally arrived at the Temple of the Fates where he met one of the sisters, Lachesis. She told Kratos that no one could change their destiny, and then began to fight him. As Kratos hurt Lachesis gravely, she summoned her sister, Atropos, from within herself. Atropos quickly grabbed Kratos, took him inside the mirrors, and brought him back to the day where he faced and killed Ares. She threw Kratos on the blade of the gods that he used to kill Ares and become the new and great god of war. Then she tried to change his past by destroying the blade. With the blade gone, Ares would be victorious. In order to maintain his existence, Kratos protected the blade while he battled Atropos, eventually defeated her, secured his past, and trapped her inside the mirror. The second Titanomachy. While he faced the hippocampi on Gaia's hand, Kratos followed a path that leads to a chamber, the tomb of Ares, which contained Ares' massive corpse that was concealed in ice. Kratos fought the first centaur of the game there. Despite being dead, Ares played a small role in the third game, as he was mentioned by Athena, Hephaestus, Hera, Kronos, Zeus, and Kratos, and was also shown in flashback scenes. There was also a large fresco of Ares in the upper part of the Chamber of the Flame, which showed him wielding his trademark sword. That fresco was located right next to a fresco of his mother, Hera. Ares' voice was heard when Kratos ended up in his psyche. With the death of Zeus and the near destruction of the world, Ares' plan for Kratos to take down the Olympian gods and Mount Olympus came to full fruition, though not as he hoped.